This mic is a jerk.
What am I doing? Launching pad?
For me. Where am I looking?
That's not the reference I'm trying to make.
Not working out direction here. I'm going to back up a little bit. Hey everybody, welcome back to Books Yada Yada. I'm Dina and thank you so much for watching my channel. So today what we've got is a review of The Wrong Family by Tarryn Fisher, you guys. You guys know how much I love Tarryn Fisher, right? And I already talked about that in one of my last videos. So I figured I'd do a real quick Goodreads review like we did the last time, and let's just get to it.
All right, Charlie, neighborhood of make-believe.
Hey, well, hello there, you guys. I'm just going to try to summarize the book the best possible way that I can. So basically what we have here is a retired therapist. She's 67 years old. Her name is Juno. She moves into the home of the Crouch family, Winnie, Nigel, and their son Sam, who is 12, 13 years old. So the book is told from two different perspectives. You have Juno's perspective and Winnie's perspective. What goes on in this story is so hard to talk about without spoiling anything. So I am not going to do that. I'm just going to try the best that I can to tell you things go seriously wrong. The Crouch family is not as wonderful as it would seem, and Juno starts discovering some really, really strange things. And Winnie is also keeping some secrets. The book, I would say, about halfway through is a really slow burn. And for Tarryn Fisher, that's kind of unusual. She really grabs you by the seat of the pants. So, I was kind of like just waiting and waiting and waiting. And then we definitely had some twists and turns start happening towards, I would say, maybe a little less than halfway, maybe like the first 120 pages or so. There were a lot of things that just didn't work for me. The end was very anticlimactic. It was weird. It felt disjointed and sort of rushed. I was just perplexed. So let's get to some reviews, you guys. So I'm just going to read my review first, which I did give it. What did I give it? Well, I gave it 3 stars. I said, Tarryn Fisher has delighted me so often in the past with her dark and twisted genius, but The Wrong Family just lacked something I can't quite put my finger on. The concept of this book was fantastic and super weird, but fell flat with an anticlimactic ending. Fisher is a fantastic writer and continues to create stories of terrible people doing terrible things. However, the ending did not click for me. I will never stop reading Fisher's books, even if they disappoint, because she is a remarkable talent and I am patient to see her best being yet to come. So that is the truth, you guys. It's got a 3.68 right now, which is okay. She is a polarizing author. It's not terribly surprising that she's only got a 3.68 right now. 5,574 ratings, 1,070 reviews. So let's get to some other 3-star ratings. Let's read Dida's review. Dida's really funny. I like her reviews. She's like real quick and short and sweet to the point. She said, yeah, I didn't love this. I wasn't a huge fan of the wives, so I'm not really surprised, but I had to read this after all the glowing reviews. Y'all suck, by the way. She writes truly effed up characters well, but it wasn't enough to save this. I am kind of done with her books. So that's fair. I mean, it's somebody who just, maybe wasn't a big fan of Tarryn Fisher to begin with, didn't like the wives. I can completely understand that. I want to read some contrasting reviews. So let's read a 5-star. Oh, here's a good one. This is Leah. She gave it a 5-star rating, a narration of 4.5. It was narrated by Lauren Fortgang, which you guys, I read it as well. Lauren Fortgang is an amazing narrator. I know I have heard her narrate other audiobooks before, but she did a fantastic job with this one. And her narration really kept me hanging on with this book. I think if it wasn't for her narration, I might have DNF'd it. Probably not, because it's a Tarryn Fisher and it was short, but Lauren Fortgang really saved this book. So first off, the narration was performed very well by Lauren Fortgang. Okay, yep. And I just explained that at length. Clearly, I did not read Leah's review before I'm reading it here now with you guys. So remember, this is just, totally random, off the cuff, and my own skewed view. Leah goes on to say, she is one of my faves, but it should have had a separate narrator for each of the two POVs. It would have been so much better with separate narrators for both Juno and Winnie. I do agree on that. And I almost rated this slightly lower for this alone, but it turns out I couldn't really do that because this story was so unexpected. A story that burrows in and sticks to your ribs, just like Marrow, which is another book by Tarryn Fisher, great book, did for me. At first, when you start this, you won't understand quite what's going on. Very, very true. That's what I meant about like the first 100 pages being slow burn. You're like, where is this going? She goes on to say, and it was even a little slow moving, but just go with it because everything will start clicking pretty quickly. So that was a really good rating. And I think it's partial, it's true, it's slow, it's a slow burn, and you kind of have to wait because there are some really, really interesting things that happen. The whole concept of the book was a great idea. Again, if I were to compare it to a TV show or a movie, I would completely give it away. Good, let's go to a 2-star. Wow, this is a lot of exclamation points. Actually, let's go ahead and read this one. This is fun. This is, so N says, oh no, nope, no. The brain cell fryer, nail biter, soul crusher Fisher book I looked for cannot be found at this moment, so leave your message to the author and wish next time she will release a book you may truly adore. This is not my favorite dark side of Tarryn. I missed her mind-bending, surprising, twisty, gut-punching writing style. Since Mudvayne, I swore to read anything she would write, but this one, I barely find the right words because I don't want to use negative words in the same sentence with one of my favorite authors, but eventually I have to. What I like that she said here is that this is not my favorite dark side of Tarryn. I think that I agree with her where, I've read a lot of Tarryn Fisher's books and she does have such a dark, disturbing mind. However, this one just didn't have that darkness. It just didn't. It lacked something Fisher-esque. So let's go to a 1-star. Nanda. All right, Nanda. Let's see what you have to say. I won't extend myself here because this book wasn't what I expected at all, and I'm already tired of talking about it. Tarryn Fisher is always a hit or miss for me, and although this was my worst book this year, I will be supporting this author in her future projects. The Wrong Family is narrated in dual point of view. She goes on to talk about Winnie, a mother, a wife, a sister, a control freak. She's the full package of a perfect life. The alternation point of view is with Juno, a mystery and sick old therapist who lives inside Winnie's house. Juno develops an obsession with Winnie's family, and both women struggle with their own lives. Winnie in her failing marriage, and Juno in her sickness and loneliness. I won't dive into the plot or all the whys. This book couldn't hold my interest, but I'll say that it was boring. So boring that I almost DNF'd it a bunch of times. But if you know me, you know that this is my ultimate nightmare. So I'd pull I'd put my big girl panties on and finished. I'm not going to go on with that one. But what I love about this review, and if you've noticed, these are random reviews I'm reading to you guys. I haven't gone through this at all and picked out certain reviews. But what you're seeing is a recurring sort of sentiment by these different reviewers saying that they will still read Tarryn Fisher, even though they did not care for this particular book because she's that good. And that's exactly how I felt too. I know a lot of people are still going to read her, even people who this was the first book they read by her. They're like, I still really liked the writing style, even though I didn't care for the book. So I'm still going to continue reading Tarryn Fisher. So that's the takeaway from this book. It was all over the place. And, it was crazy. And if you guys really want to find out what all the polarizing opinions come from, then give it a shot. You might like it. There were people I read you some 5-star reviews who really, really loved this book. Again, I was disappointed, but I'm not going to go on and on about that. So 3 stars in my opinion, and that is our Goodreads review of The Wrong Family. So I'm going to give it the old gift rating, you guys. You ready? Here we go.
All right, you guys. So what did you think about that, huh? I've read 3 books so far that have all kind of been, the first one was definitely a dud. I'll post the cards up above for that review. I'm not even going to mention it. The second book was okay. This one, meh, right? So we'll see. I did finish reading Interview with a Vampire, and that will be next week's review. So that should be an interesting one, you guys. I'm not going to say anything about it right now. So I did finish reading that, and so that is my January TBR with those 4 books. So now I'm reading some bonus books that I probably will talk about in my January wrap up. So that is what's going on in my reading journey so far. What about you guys? Are you having that? Let me know. Comment down below. I know some of you guys have been doing great and you've been reading some really, really good books from watching your channels, and some of you are having the same situation that I am. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you the next time. Hear a lot about that, I'm sure. Knowing me,